On February 15th, here in Arizona, we had a 2A rally up in Phoenix at our state capitol. So we went up to attend it, of course, and it was a great event. It was about 5 times larger than previous events, and it was a really good time. So I decided to go live one day on the channel and take one of the photographs from the speakers from the rally and turn it into a cartoon for the 2A History Project. As you see here on the Minuteman University website, the attempt is to start to get a consistent set of visuals, cartoons, for all the different 2A activists and authors and lawyers and stuff. So we had all these people that spoke at our 2A rally here in Arizona, and we sat down and we drew the cartoon of this photograph, basically. Now, we had to morph it a little bit to get Alan Corwin in there, but otherwise this was the group of speakers from our 2A rally on February 15th here in Phoenix. So we went ahead and went live, and it took about 4 hours, not to draw the thing, but to fart around and have have a conversation and get sidetracked here and there. But basically just drawing up a bunch of the little, I don't know if these are called characters, I don't know what I call it. I just trace the photograph into a cartoon, and then scribbled a version of our Arizona Capitol in the background to give it a little nicer background. That's part of the magic of cartoons, of course, is that we could play around with the spacing and the lighting and everything like that. It eliminates all the distractions. At least that's my goal, is to eliminate all the distractions and lighting issues from the photograph. So as we go through here, I don't know if I could do this in real speed or not. I don't know if I remember everybody, but you can see we had quite a diverse panel of speakers, and the same thing happened as we were doing the cartoons. A bunch of different people showed up, and it was part of the conversation, a pretty long conversation that day, and some of the comments, because of the software we're using, get to show up on the screen there. You'll see some of them show up on the screen. So we had an opportunity to not just draw. Of course, we're going to be there for hours doing the actual cartooning. So during that time, we talked about the activists themselves, the people who were the speakers, and the projects that they are working on or that they represent. We talked about the event and its significance. One of my goals is to think of our gatherings the same way we think of our First Amendment and our Second Amendment. We write and we do video so that we can practice and get better for when we need to write something important or when we need a video to do to get some point across, to do well. We go to the range and we shoot so that when we need to, our aim is dead on. So these rallies are an opportunity for us as a community to gather and to get the most out of those gatherings. A gathering itself accomplishes some, but it's not all there is. And as these rallies gain some interest and some attendance, then hopefully we'll see new ways for these rallies to evolve. And we see that with gun shows, we see that with gun shops, we see that with online communities. So I can't imagine why it would need to stop or to stagnate with rallies. So part of the conversation on Saturday when we were drawing this whole thing was to dig into those concepts. What we can do with rallies is have more things to do, maybe have people from going to the rally in New Mexico, having a place for people to park. So having maybe some event or some sort of a meetup before or after to allow people to park off-site and to attend in some sort of a group. Is it an opportunity for people to meet at a range or something else? Do something else that day. Again, when you're traveling from out of state or when you're traveling across a large state, it would be nice to have something else to do with all these like-minded folks, something to carry on the conversations. Is there anything being done to archive these gatherings, these rallies? So in Arizona, they took a photograph with the speakers, and I'm doing this to take as much time as possible to focus on the fact that we had a bunch of different speakers there. There could be channels devoted. I'm sure there are some channels devoted to the rallies themselves or the speakers at those rallies. But again, documenting and archiving is one thing, and then having community evolve around them is another. Having some involvement with the local ranges or the gun shops is, I guess, the obvious side as far as what I'm talking about. But maybe like the local restaurant or tire shop or somebody who's a Pro-A company or a Pro-A owned company, Pro-2A owned company, could possibly help these rallies evolve as well. So I'm just throwing ideas out there and trying to create opportunity, trying to create time, trying to create a place for these conversations to happen. And in this case, we're taking time to focus on the cartooning aspect of it and the drawing aspect of it, the content creation side of it. So often, especially on single platforms, people get very platform centric. They get content centric or type of method of content centric. So they're watching videos, or they're watching videos on a specific site, or they're reading blog posts, or they're getting newsletters. But very few people are looking outside of the thing that's either convenient or comfortable for them. And hopefully getting people together at rallies brings these different areas together. I'm not saying we all have to be one consistent message, but certainly taking the opportunity to meet up and use the resources and tools that we have available to us is what it's all about, to evolve and move on. So with that, I guess I did chat through this whole thing. That was the whole process sped up, I think, about 2,500 times. And then we added we'll talk about the tech, we'll talk about the techniques, and we'll talk about the nuts and bolts in these conversations as well, because I feel we all do better with us each creating content as opposed to waiting for some individuals to do all the work for us, just sitting there watching it like television. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of this series. Thanks to our Patreons who give us the time ultimately to do projects like this one. If you'd like to see more of this stuff, consider checking out that Patreon platform. It is a social media platform. It allows us to do what we do. It allows a lot of other people to do what they do as well. $20 a month on Patreon, divided up between 10 different people, could really change 2A. Think about it. Thanks for your time, and as always, thanks for watching.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thanks for watching GunWebsites.com.